You are listening to the Masculine Mindset Show, a podcast for introverts to get more confidence, more importantly, more self-worth, and of course, get more fit. Women are a side benefit. More importantly, I turn nice guys into bad motherfuckers. Let's get into the content, you fucking legend. Sponsored by Brain FM. Real binaural beats that has sleep tracks, meditation tracks, recharge tracks, relaxation tracks, focus tracks, which, by the way, those focus tracks are really fucking good. Man, do I focus when I am writing my blogs, you guys. Okay, let's get into the content. I fucking love it. If you'd sign up right now. You guys are about to hear one of my last podcasts with the Chizeler James. Gosh, I tend to talk fast. Okay. Guys, listen. This is the last episode with James for a long time because I am stepping out from podcasting. I know you heard the 14th, but yes, I'm going to just do the entire month of March now because I just love all my listeners and I want you to get all the knowledge of being a more masculine alpha male. Now, let's get into the content, you guys. Understand that this episode is more about mindsets. To basically kick perfectionism to the curb. Own that you have an ethical ego, but learn to basically always be mentally tough with that ethical ego. Masculine Mindset Show. It's Adam Skoda back on with the Chizeler James today. How you doing, man?
Good. Glad to be here with you, Adam, for sure.
All right, so we're talking about mental toughness today. I'm holding in my hand a book called 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. And I want to briefly mention this, you guys, because this book, in my mind, is hands down definitely up there in my top 5 of favorite books. But I will be touching upon some topics that I personally believe that it's okay to be kind of cocky. We'll talk about that later in the episode. But first and foremost is I want to ask you, James, what in your mind is being a mentally tough guy?
Being stoic.
I like that.
Yeah, which means to be able to do the hard shit in life without complaining and bitching out and just kind of just doing what you got to do.
Yep. You know, I have a whole section in my book, 77 Ways to Develop a Masculine Mindset. I talk about embracing Stoicism. And one of the easiest ways to embrace Stoicism, you guys, is to take an ice cold shower. So
yeah, I definitely do that. I definitely take ice showers, the cold setting of the water, cold as it can get. You know, depending on where you're getting your waters from in the pipeline, but the coldest level you can get is good shit.
Oh yeah. And as Wes would often say, because James and I both are acquainted with Wes Watson, he would say, be present during the pain. So that right there in my mind is stoicism is when you're, like, for example, you're present during the cold when you're taking that ice cold shower. So yeah, I love that. I love that. So one thing I want to mention really quick, moving forward, you guys, is in this book, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class, it does say that ego is basically it's middle class thinking. And that's, in my mind, it's very true. However, I want to mention real quick that it's okay to believe you're the shit, but be willing to grow. That's how
So you're correct. 100% believe in our mind. We should believe we are the shit. We are number one. We do have the God essence power in us. But how we display it amongst other people, it kind of varies case by case because not everybody, you know, sees himself that way. Not
Mm.
everybody believes that, you know what I mean? So, you kind of got to adjust, your level of energy, uh, on how you display it amongst different people. Or you can kind of be like Wes and say, fuck everybody. You either like me as I am or you don't, you either like me when you meet me or you hate me when you meet me. I'm the same person. But for me, I like people and I like helping people grow. So, you know, I kind of meet people where they're at and then see, what they how they vibrate, what they talk about, what's on their heart, and kind of see where I can help level them up to that next stage of the mental process of toughness for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And something that I really think that a lot of guys out there have a hard time comprehending, and I really want to say this to all my listeners right now. I've recently started working with Mark of the UMP. Either way, I've been working with him, and something that I've noticed, James, is that a lot of guys, I've noticed that they're not that man enough to admit that they have a problem in their social life. They think, oh, I get girls, but they're not willing to grow. Meaning, this is where the Mental Toughness Secrets book has its place. You have to be willing to admit to yourself that you have a problem with certain areas of your life. And this is where I will agree with this book here, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. That is, you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to grow because an ego often, when it's too massive, when it's too fucking big, you narrow down your mindset and then you won't take anyone's fucking piece of advice on what they've learned. Just you won't let them into your own bubble and you're just thinking, okay, I know I am the shit, but what I'm getting at here is you want to be willing to listen to other people. Like you can't just not listen, if you get me. So that's kind of like
Yeah,
what I'm
I,
saying here.
yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like the greatest way to grow and learn more is to listen to other people's perspective.
Yeah.
Whether you agree with it or not, you still learn the different perspective of other people out there, so then you know how to approach the next person that may disagree with you. But even if y'all do agree, you still have a different way, a different verbiage, a different way of thinking about it that you can now add to your repertoire of thinking. Um, because just one mind is not going to get it done for sure. So that's why the saying goes, what, more minds is better than one. So,
Yeah, absolutely. So I went on a tangent on the whole ego thing now. So if there's anything else that you have to say about being mentally tough, I would love to hear it.
well, as far as like the ego, I mean, West says, ego means edging God out. You know what I mean? So it's like you're not leading with like um, a, a, a mindset of being grateful for, who God is and what he's done and everything like that. I mean, and then when it comes to mental toughness, I mean, like I said, we do a lot of things that we don't want to do, but it benefits us and we know it benefits us, whether it be us, the environment and the people around us, you know what I mean? So and during that pain and in that pain, we come to, a different way of thinking. Um, and that builds discipline um, and appreciation, because without that pain, you wouldn't have got to that thought or that new idea or whatever it may be.
Yeah, actually, I'm pretty certain Wes heard that from one of the biggest spiritual teachers out there. That is Eckhart Tolle, because Eckhart Tolle says that too. Eckhart Tolle says, "Edge God out." Wait, wait. It wasn't, hang on, no. I got the wrong person. I want to correct myself. It's Dr. Wayne Dyer. Correction. Dr. Wayne Dyer says that. Edge got out. So yeah, guys, it's 100% true. You do. All right. So I say it's okay to know that you're the shit. It's always okay to know that you're the shit, but also be willing to grow. Okay. So kind of be cocky, as I say in my dating podcast, because I talk about cocky, funny humor, but be willing to grow. So there's this kind of conversation I had with myself before this interview, James, where I asked myself, can you be cocky and humble? And I thought, yeah, you can. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, what is cocky? You know what I mean? Is cocky where you put down other people? Is cocky where you make yourself present yourself as better than someone else? Is cocky, I mean, to me, cocky is just like the extreme of confident. You know what I mean? It's just like and that's someone else's term that they give you. You know what I mean? It's not like I'm going around saying, yeah, I'm cocky. Most of the time when cocky is used, it's someone else's perspective, viewpoint on someone else. But
Right.
Again, because they themselves don't see themselves in that high level of extreme confidence. It's not like, but again, I'm not, so it's like at the gym, they say men are cocky when they come in the gym with a, tank top on, whatever, and they looking in the mirror, and they flexing their muscles and all this and that. Like, no, not necessarily. That's not what cocky is. But I am confident that I've done the work. I put in the work. I put in the time. I love my body. It looks good. And, this is what I'm grateful for. You know what I mean? So,
Dude, a story comes to mind. Actually, oh my god, my listeners are gonna laugh their ass off when I say this. But last week, I actually, okay, this new chick I'm talking to named Juliet. I straight up asked her because I found out that she draws for fun. I'm like, well, have you ever drew like a guy with broad shoulders on your notebook before? And she said no. And then I said, well, how about you do that the next time I see you? And then she literally said, oh, so you want me to draw you? And I'm like, yeah, I want you to draw me.
well, I mean, if you think I have broad shoulders, like I
Yeah,
never
yeah,
said that. You know what I mean?
yeah. She immediately assumed I was talking about me, which was hilarious. But yeah, um, yeah, I just had to tell that hilarious story. But anyways, let's move forward with what I wanted to really tell my listeners today. I have these essential tasks in my book, 77 Ways to Develop a Masculine Mindset. I give my readers essential tasks to do, meaning it makes it an experience. So you essentially, okay, I saw this dude, he's in the West community. I I forget his name, but I like what he said, James. He said, how do you get mental toughness? And he answered that. He said, well, here's what you do. You don't read books on mental toughness. You go experience it. So I was like, I really fucking like that. So it reminded me, I was like, you guys, my book is more of an experience. So how I want you to read the book is I want you to pick the tasks that you like and take action. So on this task that I have in my book, I basically say, be obsessed with yourself. As in, be cocky, basically. And so this task here is, I say, don't act to get the girl in social situations. Instead, let it go completely. Be self-amused and playfully self-entitled. Turn it into the best party in town, like you are in your own little world. I'm going to shout out Elizabeth from the Wing Girl Method. She knows what I'm talking about there. Own your cockiness, own your frame, own your masculine mindset. Fuck humility. Show who you are. That's the differentiating factor in this task. Show that you are cocky and make no apologies for it. misinterpret every single challenge or shit test like they just boosted your ego. I get it. You're infatuated with me. I don't blame you. Look at my eyes. They're gorgeous. So, that's kind of what I wanted to say there about basically how to take action in terms of being playfully cocky. So if there's anything you want to say on that, let me know.
I mean, I definitely agree as far as like, you know, not being more for yourself, you know. Women are, I feel like, are drawn to that more so than you know, looking at them and chasing them and being full of them, you know. I mean, because then it just draws them in to be like, oh, what you know, why isn't he interested in me? You know what I mean? Because that's just the norm of society, that men should be chasing women. You know what I mean? So like that just is, you know, puts her in a curious mindset of like, oh, what is this guy into, or what is he doing, or basically why isn't he into me, basically. So
yeah, absolutely. Guys, I want to tell you all something. Natural girl magnets are extremely selfish. They are. They're extremely selfish. And it's funny, but James, lately I've been having a lot of my family saying, Adam, you're being selfish. I'm like, that in a way that kind of boosts my ego, but in a way I have to watch that because I can be a little selfish. Either way.
When it comes to what, like your time or like what?
Yeah, I just don't think of others very much the way I should, and I should probably put certain people as, I guess, before me that kind of matter in my life. But like either way, the whole point behind of bringing that up, of the fact that I am going to be stepped down from podcasting, is, I mean, guys, I will be back. I'm just going to put out a few more episodes, and I'm going to move out of basically where I'm at now, and yeah, that's that. But circling back to mental toughness, I just think that being self-entitled is important when it comes to having mental toughness, because if you want to game yourself to not want women so badly, I think that healthy self-entitlement is important.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you definitely have to. I mean, I feel like everybody, you know what I mean. I mean, but we're talking about, I guess, men right now. But you know, as a man, I feel like you have to like get to a place of solitude. I mean, as us being from, you know, the West Watson community, he definitely was in solitude, being in prison for 10 years. And when you do that, you monotask. And he speaks about monotasking. When you monotask, it's like you focus 100% of your time, energy, heart, soul, and physicality on one thing, which is improving yourself, self-development. You know what I mean? So, and again, you know, it's kind of hard when you out here in society and you got all these distractions and, you know, things like that. But to be able to do that is where, you know, you build that mental toughness, and that's where you build your confidence, and that's where you know, that's how you build the man that you need to be, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so, if you have any stories of how you practice mental toughness, James, I know you go to the gym a lot. If we could do something outside of fitness, because I think the last episode that we did, it was why working out is the gateway to discipline. How do you practice mental toughness? Let's just say in the kitchen, or maybe in other areas of your life. I would love to hear it.
Well, to be honest, the first thing that popped in my mind is, you know, I get a lot of my mental toughness from God. I mean, I believe in God. I'm a heavy, you know, man of God, you know. And through this, you know, he has given me strength to, you know, believe in his power. And with his power, it basically allows me to not fear no other man. So, you know, I've been in situations where, you know, I've had my life threatened, you know what I mean? And in being threatened, you know, you kind of gotta, I mean, for me, when I was threatened, it put a paranoia feeling in my mind of like, oh, these guys are gonna come after me. Oh, these guys are gonna come stab me and kill me. You know, when is it gonna happen? I don't know. Who is it gonna be? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like the mind starts to, you know, get paranoid and dwell down these thoughts of, you know, endless possibilities. And again, me being able to like lean on God and surrender, you know, my worries to God allowed me to, you know, like I said, be mentally tough and to go about my business and to not, like I said, fear the next individual and his capabilities if I, you know, if in that present moment it seemed like he is totally able to do that. You know what I mean? But again, standing on, you know, standing your ground and knowing in your heart, you know, your intentions and all this and that. And so to me that was like kind of some steps forward in building my mental toughness. Besides that, you know, like I have to be at work sometimes, you know, and at work, you know, it's laborious. My job is a little laborious, you know, and you know, I obviously it's something I can't just quit when I don't feel like doing it. I mean, you can, people do, but you know, it's like, why would you? You know what I mean? That just it starts to build unhealthy habit of quitting when things starts to get hard. You know what I mean? So when you persevere through the toughness or the hard times or the physical moments, and when you're like, oh, I'm tired, but you tell yourself, because the mind is more powerful than the body. You tell your mind what to do, and the body will follow suit. So if you tell yourself, keep going, push through, you got this, you know, that's also part of building that mental toughness. And then again, Wes always talk about that delayed gratification. So, you know, that also builds mental toughness, knowing that you're doing something and in the moment or once you end the task that you're doing, you're not necessarily going to see the benefits of what you're doing in that moment or in that time. But again, that builds the mental toughness because you're going to keep doing it again and keep doing it again. Then as time goes on, whether it be the next year or the end of the day or the, you know, months ahead of time, that you finally see the results from that time, from the beginning to the result that you finally see, that was time spent building that mental toughness.
Yeah, dude, that is definitely an awesome story. I wanted to tell a story as well, you guys, that is a lot of my listeners knew already if they heard my episode, How Making Money Improves Masculinity with Jeremy Newsom, which, by the way, dude, that guy is the author of the book Money Grows on Trees. Do you know that book? Jeremy Newsom.
Can't, I might have heard of it, but definitely haven't read it.
Yeah, I'm going to shout out Jeremy Newsom right here. All right, so what I told Jeremy Newsom is I said I worked for Jason Capital a while back. He was known as America's Honest Dating Coach. Now, something that I did when I worked on his team, you guys, is I would do something called rapid state training. Okay? And in my mind, this is the hardest thing I've ever learned in my life. Because your body naturally has a hard time fighting against inertia because you want to sit a lot. People want to sit a lot. And I think that the best way for me to communicate this to all my listeners, that is, there's a quote in 177 Mental Toughness Secrets of the World Class. That quote says, the world class raises their vibration at will. The world class raises their vibration at will. Let's think about that for a second. So I thought, what I learned when I was working with JC, right, is rapid state training. Now, this is hard as fuck. Basically, how you raise your vibration at will, James, is you just pump yourself up, but you do it every 20 minutes or like every 15 minutes. And you just get into that resourceful state like that. And you just snap yourself out of it. Like, let's just say, for example, bioenergetics. I talked about bioenergetics with Zach Zeller. Zach used to, all right, he was CEO of Team Capital, and I interviewed him. You guys go check out How to Enhance Masculinity with Zach Zeller. But bioenergetics is a great example of rapid state training. So you just basically hold up your hands and you breathe really hard for like as long as possible. Like, I want to say 5 minutes. And then you go into a forward fold and you do the same thing. Exhale. Do that every 20 minutes, James. It's hard because your body naturally wants to fight against inertia, and you want to sit a lot. The average person wants to sit a lot. So when I learned bioenergetics and I did that breathing pattern, which, by the way, I did not learn that from JC, okay? A lot of people think I learned that from JC. No, I learned that from Elliot Hulse, okay? Look up Elliot Hulse, you guys. But either way, Elliot Hulse, he talks about bioenergetics. And what that does is, guys, I'm already feeling really good just by doing that twice, I think. And I can tell you guys how good it fucking feels to do bioenergetics. But if you do that every 15 or 20 minutes, that's hard.
And just going throughout your day every 15, 20.
Yeah.
That would be a sight to see.
Yeah. So that, in my mind, is a good story of mental toughness. And yeah, I also think that, you know, I was going through the book 177 Mental Toughness Secrets, and also it says daily gratitude, you guys. Daily gratitude is fucking important. That's huge.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. To feel grateful for the things that you have and the things that you want as if you already have them. That's the key to, you know, even though obviously you may want things or things that you want to acquire in your character or whatever that you don't have in the moment. I find out that I still have to see myself as already having these things and already feeling grateful that I already portray myself as such. I've learned that, and I'm practicing that, you know, as far as part of my daily routine.
Yeah. I would say daily gratitude is really, really, really fucking important for, I want to say, like, the average man ages 15 through, like, I would say 30, because a lot of these guys out there that I target, I notice that they're very young. A lot of men out there have got to understand that daily gratitude will literally save your life. So I think that every single man out there listening that has stumbled across my podcast, understand that I know a lot of you are thinking, how is gratitude action? Well, think about this for a second. When you sit and just be grateful for the body that you're given, for example, and you're grateful for the life that you have, because a lot of people have it hard, you guys. If you're in a middle class family in the United States,
the thing is, there's always somebody, no matter what situation you're in, there's always somebody who's had it harder than you.
Yep. Exactly. I'm glad you said that, James, because I was about to say that myself. And it's like a lot of guys out there, they don't comprehend this. They think, oh, I had this so hard, and women have it out for me, like in the dating game. They're blaming women for their problems, but really, as I said in my episode, reach the highest form of non-neediness. Stop that victim blaming bullshit. Because in that episode, dude, I was very harsh. I went into my ego, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to say this again and go into my ego yet again. Guys, you're being a pussy if you're a victim blaming woman, because women don't owe you shit. They don't owe you anything. Start learning the games and stop blaming women for your woman problems.
Yeah. I mean, that shouldn't be a focus point really for a man, because the woman will be attracted. You want the woman to want you.
Mm-hmm.
So you doing you know what I mean? You chasing your dreams, your goals, aspiring to be the best man that you want to be. And you want that woman to be attracted to you, to show her attraction towards you, to then invite her way into your life, into your world, to be a part of it so she can level herself up. Because that's what she's attracted to, that spiritual person that you are, that being of masculinity, of protecting, of providing, of the confident, of just he see himself as the president of the United States, as no more, you know what I mean, no less, and humble, and in all states of man should be, for sure.
Yeah, 110%. And honestly, that is a great place to wrap up my podcast, James, because I have about like 4 minutes left of my time here. And I also wanted to mention, guys, the biggest way to be mentally tough in my mind is first stop victim blaming pussy mindset. That's what I have to say about that. And then second off, listen to what James has to say about being mentally tough, because I really enjoyed that story, James, that you told about 10 minutes ago. And also, I wanted to say, basically, accept yourself, that you have character flaws, because we all do, don't we, James?
Definitely. We all got flaws. We all have issues we got to work on, like you said, and we should all seek more wisdom and more knowledge, not to ever think that we know it all, for sure.
Yeah, that's the whole caveat. I tend to add huge caveats to my podcast, but that's huge. We all have flaws, you guys. Admit to yourself that you have a problem with women, for example, because let's face it, you guys, I want you all to understand something. You have to basically be man enough to admit that in all areas of life you can improve in these areas, and you have to admit that to yourself. And
I mean, at the same time, you only have a problem if you say you have a problem. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't have if you don't have a girl and you want a girl, then you know what I mean? Like, that shouldn't be what's on your mind to begin with. You know what I mean? You should be
right.
developing who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And the girl will come. Like that's the incorrect thinking right there. Putting yourself in that victim mindset that I want a girl, I don't have a girl, I should have a girl. You know what I mean? You should be thinking about who you are, what you want to be, who you want to become. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, become the man that you are meant to be. That's what I would have to say about it. And don't compare yourself to the next man that you think is better than you, kind of thing. But also, lastly, more importantly, I want to say that you guys, I know I talk about admitting your faults, but just remember that perfectionism doesn't exist. That is, again, ego. Perfectionism is ego. So that was something I had to swallow myself. Years ago, when I got into the dating game, dude, I struggle with perfectionism. I have to admit that to myself. That's kind of like what's been on my mind these past few minutes. So, you guys, if you struggle with perfectionism, I have to say to you, watch that, because that's your ego creeping in the back door. I say, know you're the shit, but don't watch your perfectionistic mindset. That's huge. So, if there's anything you want to say on that, I have about 1 minute left. Let me know, James. I think that was an awesome podcast today on mental toughness and basically owning who you are, but also admitting where you can improve. And if there's anything else you have to say, let me know.
yeah, no, it was a good podcast. Glad to be on here once again with you, talking about this. It's definitely important in today's society. It's a lot more weaker minded men. I can definitely see out there, but yeah, I mean, for me, like I said, it's not about being perfect, but you do want to portray yourself of the man that you want to be. So you have that image. You have that image, what that is. And you have to embody that. Even if you're not there yet, you still have to embody those characters and those daily habits, and that goes back to the gratitude, being grateful for things that you have, because at the end of the day, we've already been given things that we want and need and have. We just have to be grateful and say to ourselves that we have this already. So it's like, I'm grateful, that I'm full of love, full of abundance. I'm grateful that I am a man of stoicism, a man of that is humble and confident at the same time.
Yep, I like that. Yo, guys, I appreciate you for listening to the Masculine Mindset Show with the Chizeler James today. You guys are fucking awesome. Now, what I want to say to you before I wrap up this episode, understand that this one is more of like a personal development podcast. And some of you guys are used to Adam just having that intense, polarizing type podcast. But today, guys, I'm going to really say to all of you right now, it is very important for you all to be grateful for the life that you have. Lastly, you guys understand this. I know you hear me say, can you be cocky and can you be humble at the same time? Here's my take on that. Yes, you can. Now, humility and humbleness, they're both kind of similar, but there are some differences. The whole point behind that tangent is for you to kick perfectionism to the curb, because you've got to be a student for life, okay? This is what I mean when I say be humble and cocky. This is what I mean, you guys. This is what I fucking mean. So listen. You are a student for life, but you're fucking cocky in social situations. Because you guys, I'm going to tell you point blank, women love cockiness. I don't give a shit if people try to tell me, Adam, you shouldn't do that. I don't give a shit. That's my favorite style of game, and I'm shutting out Double Your Dating from Dear D'Angelo. All right, you guys, peace out.